Hello, I am Jen, and this is another Sims 4 speed build. We are back at the family place apartments, and I have decided after doing apartment number 1 here that we will in fact do each apartment in their own video. So by the time we're done with this little mini series, it will have 5 total parts. I didn't necessarily want that to happen that way, but this is a very large apartment building, and the apartments are really good size. They're 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, so they're basically each a small house on their own. So I kind of felt like I had no choice but to put them in their own videos. Otherwise, the video would be massively long. So, for this first apartment, I have no idea what I was doing. I just started picking stuff and I ran with it after that. I didn't really have any kind of plan in mind for it. I just knew that I kind of had this feeling of I want it to be kind of more modern, a little bit more sleek, not necessarily minimalist, but very neat, very tidy. Everything has a cupboard and everything is put away in that cupboard behind closed doors type of look for the most part. Now, you will be surprised to learn that this is, in fact, a family apartment. When you think modern and sleek and very extremely tidy, almost to the point of being borderline minimalist, you think either A, they have no kids, or B, they don't like their kids because they don't incorporate them into the house. But I incorporated a child's things and a child into this modern, semi sleek home very well, if I do say so myself. I did not plan it this way. It just kind of happened. I just kind of went with it. I let it take me where it wanted to go, basically. I just went with the flow of it. Whatever felt right. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So it starts out looking like it's going to be a very adult oriented apartment, very, kids don't live here kind of thing. But very quickly here, in just a second, I'm contemplating. Okay, I've decided. This is where I'm like, this is a really a family apartment. So in my mind, these are like adult Sims or older young adult Sims, like just about to turn adult. And they have one child, a girl. She is just about to turn a teenager, so she's a little bit older of a child, but still a child. And they are absolutely devoted to her. She is their everything. Their entire life revolves around their daughter. They are so madly obsessed with their daughter that they love this modern sleek apartment that they're living in, but they want her to feel at home in it too and not just hide away all of her stuff in her bedroom, which is kind of a small bedroom anyways, so they wouldn't have been able to even if they wanted to. But they get her an art table and a toy box and a violin, I think it is. Like, this kid has the stuff, let me tell ya. And they put it right out there on display. You'll see in a second here. And all those colorful books underneath the TV, kids' books for their daughter, and everything is very kid friendly and safe while looking modern and sleek. I don't know why, but at some point I got it in my head that this had to be a very kid safe apartment, even though it's also modern and sleek. Like, safety first type of mentality. Don't put that there because what if that kid put it in their mouth and choked on it? Now, I know this is The Sims, right? And we don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I got that in my head and I couldn't get it out. Very kid safe apartment, very kid friendly apartment, and yet it's still very like nice, tidy, modern, almost borderline minimalist. I don't know. That's just what I feel. That was what I was feeling when I was working on this apartment, and that's what I feel when I look back at the footage of it, is that sort of, yes, we're fancy and we're modern and we're classy, but we also love our child more than we love anything else in the world. And our child is the center of our universe type of feeling. You know what I mean? So, from that point of putting those books on the TV stand forward, that was just constantly in my mind, even if I wasn't consciously thinking about it. And a bonus, this time I actually semi decorated the bathrooms. I didn't just put the bare necessities in there and leave them. I wanted to give these guys a couple of actual decent, nice bathrooms, you know what I mean? Um, let's see. I do have some plans for two of the other apartments, so those will be coming very, very quickly because I already know what I want to do and how I want them to look, and the kind of families that I'm going to be decorating them for. But the fourth apartment might take a little bit longer because I have no idea. Then again, it might end up like this one where I just start laying down furniture to try to get a plan going, and then it just comes out of me that way. Fun fact, I honestly, truly, 100% do not remember doing the bathrooms before the kids' bedroom. I swear I remember doing the kids' bedroom first and then starting on the bathrooms, but according to my footage, I actually started in the bathrooms and did the kids' bedroom after. It's weird how memories work like that sometimes, but I will say that this apartment actually took me probably 3 days to get finished. Like, pardon me, I'm having really bad dry throat issues right now. I have like a little bit of a cold, but also I'm just having a particularly rough time with my dry mouth issues right now. And so it makes me like, it kills my voice. Like, my throat gets so dry, I literally cannot speak, and then I start coughing. So it's rough doing these voiceovers that way. But anyways, I'm gonna try to make it through the last few minutes without croaking too much. Okay, I grabbed a throat lozenge. Hopefully it helps. I was having a real struggle getting through the last few minutes of this video, so I erased it all, went back, grabbed a throat lozenge, and we're going to try this again. So, the idea behind the kids' bedroom is, let's not worry about what the rest of the house looks like and is decorated as. Let's just put in a bunch of things that the kid likes. So, I kind of decorated it with all the things I would have liked as a kid in my bedroom if I had this stuff in real life. So, little tiny Jen would have loved this coloring palette if she was a little tiny Jen now, because little Jen back in the like late 80s, early 90s was very into coral and like lavender. So, like a pinky orange color or an orangey pink color, more like salmon, and lavender. But those types of colors were very popular back then, and now more like minty greens and pastel rose type pinks are more popular. But if I was little now, that's how I would want my room decorated. So I just kind of went with that. I don't know. I just went with what I liked, and sometimes I've been told I'm a little bit of a child in my decorating, so I ran with it. How about that? Let's put it that way. So for the parents' bedroom, I went back to the sort of monochromatic-ish look of the rest of the apartment, only I made it significantly darker in nature, just to be very like soothing and calm retreat like for the parents at the end of a long day. That was kind of the feeling and vision I had in my head. Also, I did not realize that this room was so massively large until I started decorating it. Like the whole time I was building, and you might have seen that video, the whole time I was building the structure and the whole time I was decorating the rest of the apartment, I did not realize how big this bedroom was. It was not until I put that bed down in there that I'm like, whoa, this bedroom is absolutely massive for an apartment. But we're kind of stuck with it now, so we're going to go with it. I maybe have a few ideas I might try out potentially for one of the other apartments and see how well it works, though I don't know if it's gonna stick. But the in my mind, once I got started with this apartment, they kind of own their apartments. They're not just renting. It's kind of like a condo situation where, yes, you're living in an apartment building, but you own that apartment. So you can literally do whatever you want in it. Knock down walls, change out the cabinets. In a traditional apartment, you can't do things like that. You can't change out the kitchen cabinets. You can't knock down walls. You can't do whatever it is you want to do. You generally you can't even paint because landlords don't like it. But I went with the more condo, we own this, if we want different cabinets, if we want to knock down a wall idea. I went with that, and so I have a few ideas I might try out for some of the other apartments, but I don't know how well they're gonna work yet. Otherwise, we're basically stuck with this floor plan now because everything else and apartment number one is set. You know what I mean? But yeah, finally, we're just about done, and we will get to the walkthrough here in just 1 second. Got a couple more things to place. Yeah, I do that a lot. I jump around because I forget things sometimes, and then I have to go back and add them. So let's get into that walkthrough, shall we? So I decided to leave the front porch bare on this one. Again, going with that whole modern, sleek, tidy, everything's put away in closed cabinets idea. As you saw in the entryway there are closed cabinets there. That is where they would put like their shoes and their coats and their backpacks and everything so that they're not sitting out and around and in view. However, they're not completely minimalist. They do have the children's corner there with the art table and the toys, and they have all those colorful books under the TV. So they're not really going for minimalism, they're just going for extremely tidy. I think that's how I would describe it. Extremely tidy, not minimalist, and I'm always hitting the wrong buttons. Sorry. So I think we'll start with looking around the kids' room. I love doing these walkthroughs, by the way. I love seeing these rooms from the vantage point of a sim. It just makes it feel more alive. But here's the kids' room. And I love this minty peach pink style going on in there. It's so different from the rest of the house, but so fun. And then a basic bathroom, but slightly decorated, for a little bit of fun. And then the massive parents' room. From this perspective, it doesn't look quite as massive as from like a bird's eye point of view, but it's still a really big bedroom. They are not hurting for space in here at all. And then they obviously have their own private bathroom over here. I didn't have to include it, but the way I wanted the structure to be, it just left a little bit of extra space, and I thought, why not? A galley kitchen, which this is kind of a luxury apartment ish. Which I did not start out planning being a luxury apartment. It just kind of happened. And so, galley kitchen is probably weird in a more luxury type kitchen. But the way everything was laid out, it's just kind of what we ended up with. And then the back porch, a little seating area, a little table for drinks and stuff, and yeah, that's about it. It definitely ended up more expensive than I meant for it to be. I will say that. It definitely is slightly more luxury, but it is pretty much a full size house. So, I hope you enjoyed this speed build. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!